We'll start up a new game with a 7C maybe this time. And the legend seems like a good one. Now they have a periscope stabilization completely disabled option, so we'll give that a try. Some have asked me whether or not I changed too much on the crew scheduling, so here we are with the 7C, and kind of do this to go as fast as possible, but when you start out they only give you 18 out of 20 sailors, so might as well get them. As usual, we'll remove that. I've started to replace the 0 over here with a 6. We'll see how that does. And then go back here for a minute and reorganize my my crew here. I like the leaders there, and then my radio officer to the left, and then those are my engineers and mechanics. So we're gonna take on 2 engineers to start. We've got the radio officer, and we'll do 987 as usual. And we'll do that as a 988. We're gonna put the radio man on 3-hour shifts. And then we'll do 6 hours for the officers. Oops. On the squads, one thing that's a little different is you have a little bit more crew with the 7C, so in addition to the usual 2 that we assign for each of these, we'll go ahead and add 1 for the radio man. And that's my usual setup for the boat dive. It'd be nice, that carries over from my last, it'd be nice if all this stuff carried over from new start to new start. But it's not that big of a deal to go in and edit it. And let's see what we got for supplies.
Need officer. Take a look.
Start with 5 of those. Take whatever oil we can get. Torpedoes, we want as many T1s as we can get here. So we'll take what they've got. Be able to get all T1s. Well, I'm out of money. Oh well. We can live with a few T2s. Maybe I'll start with storage though. I'll have 1 T2 loaded, ready to go, and we'll kind of unload it. kind of unload the T2 maybe, and when we do fan shots or something like that, include a T2 in the mix. I guess I can only afford 14.
Serve as the liaison officer, relaying orders directly from the Admiralty. How may I assist
Any
you,
of these missions, I'm usually looking to find how can I get a couple officers as soon as possible.
These are
so let's
current
see what's
orders from the
available.
headquarters. Your eyes only. The fall of France has opened new doors.
Yeah, we can
Our
skip
U-boats
over.
can now sail from harbors along the Atlantic coast. Allied shipping lanes, once a distant prize, are now within easy reach.
Iceland. Ooh, 2 agents. I don't know if I want to do agents yet. But are there any... I'm interested in a radio officer and an engineer, so I'm not crazy about getting these guys right away. I guess we can go with a happy time mission. And we'll go ahead and set up our UI so that we can see our dials.
Half ahead.
And that should be good to get us going. Had a little trouble getting out of this port last time, so I might have to watch this a little more carefully than I did last time. Maybe leave it a slower
Slow ahead.
pace. I had trouble getting through the locks. See how we do this time. Yeah, looks like it made it. And we're operating off of patch 11, thanks to the devs as always. They've done an amazing job keeping up with all the requests. The game just keeps getting better.
I already missed the smell of fresh air and sunshine. Being cooped up in here for weeks takes its toll.
I'm going to stay on the surface and get us out there as quickly as possible. If we get any contacts or anything along the way, I'm going to probably ignore it, just because they don't always count toward the mission. And my goal here is I want to complete the mission and get back to
We've been
port.
notified by a friendly vessel of a possible target within our vicinity.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be chasing it. I'm going to get to the... BE 963. BE 963. So it was like southwest or something. Heading down that way. It's away from my patrol zone. I'm not gonna chase that one. I think I'll chase things from within the patrol zone. But once I meet the requirements of whatever the mission is,
Patrol area reached. Captain, we've reached our target.
I think I'm looking to
Set a course to these coordinates.
so maybe sink the tonnage and just get back and log
Set a course to these coordinates.
the rep and move on. There's not much reason to chart out much more of a leg than that, because chances are somewhere in here I'm going to find something anyway, so no use in overdoing it. I think we're at a good speed, And we've got our settings for dive so that our hydrophone operator is
Captain,
gonna
we've risen to the surface. Captain, there's an incoming transmission. Report sent.
Consider it done, sir.
We've been notified by a friendly vessel of a possible target within our vicinity.
Alright, let's see where this one is. BE-376 convoy western course. BE-376. BE-376. This one's more promising. So it's there on a western course. Just to see where it might be. Rather than do an intercept, I think I'm more looking at just if it's plodding along at like say 7 knots. Maybe it gets to about right there in 2 turns, and me at 9, I can do 180. So maybe I'm here in 2 turns. Let's see if we can, let's stay on the surface. We'll get to this point.
Set a course to these coordinates.
Looks like I'm at 10 knots, so I can probably stretch that out to about 200.
Set a course to these coordinates.
Maybe just do this. And if they're moving at 7 knots, it puts them maybe,
Captain, we've reached our target.
maybe around there. I really like that feature that the devs added, where at the end of your at your leg, it comes out of Excel time. That's just a nice quality of life feature. So maybe we'll
Set a
go
course to these
this
coordinates.
way back on our dive schedule
Slow ahead.
and see what, if anything, we find. And we've got
Captain, there's an incoming transmission.
plenty of hydrophone coverage here, so if we happen to pick up that convoy, that's great.
Captain, there's an incoming transmission.
Captain, we've risen to the surface.
Captain, we have reached our target.
I guess we could dip down for a little
Dive
bit.
to 30 meters.
Maybe we'll head off in this
Set
direction
a course
a
to
little bit.
these coordinates.
See if we pick up anything.
Switch to electric motors.
30 meters.
Man the listening room.
I need some help here.
Consider it done, sir.
Ship propeller at 256. So it's behind us. Guess we can turn toward it
Change course.
and just see if it's, in the time it takes me to turn, I ought to be able to tell if it's moving. To the right or to the left, east or west?
25 meters.
Let's see what its bearing is now.
Change course.
.359, so maybe moving to the west.
Current depth, 30 meters.
Let's just see what it's doing.
.25 meters.
It's moving in an east-west direction. Kind of slow. Either that or we're on the same course.
Change course.
Should maybe just surface and do a run in this direction for a bit. If the hydrophone guy picked it up, it's probably out in the middle hydrophone range, maybe out in around here somewhere.
Change course.
Maybe we'll run out to there and see where it's moved to.
Blow the tanks.
5 meters.
Switch to diesel engines.
Captain, we've risen to the surface.
Dive to
Captain.
50 meters. Man the listening room.
5 meters.
Switch to electric
Once it's down to
motors.
where it needs
50
to be, it'll
meters.
come to a complete stop and do a hydro check. Alright, so it's got a 197. I think it's picking up the convoy now. So 197
Current
is
depth, 45 meters.
back this way. It's interesting. It's probably this one coming across, so
50 meters.
the only issue is it says a few. Could be an ASW patrol. I think we could follow
Change
it.
course.
45 meters.
See what we get. It's daytime and looks like storming outside. It's got another bearing 325. That's that other ship. Took longer to detect it, so I'm gonna assume it's further away than this one, so
Half ahead.
I think
Blow
we'll
the
surface
tanks.
and head down this way. See if we can get this convoy coming east to west, maybe. I think my goal would be to try to find where the smoke is on the horizon and then head it off. It's going to depend on the visibility, though.
Current depth, 35 meters. $15 meters.
If there's a surface ship here, a convoy,
Switch to diesel engines.
and if it's moving
Captain, we've
at,
risen to the surface.
Whoops. If it's moving at roughly 7 knots. And at flank, I think I can do like 18 or 19 in a 7C.
Yes, sir. I'll take care of it.
Means my intercepts on a
Set a course to
parallel
these
to
coordinates.
that line. My intercept might be about right there. So we could use an offset also. I don't necessarily have to intercept exactly the way I did, but this is such a guess at this point. I'm just hoping to get within 20 kilometers of the thing, so maybe we'll go to about here and
Change course.
see if we can pick it up with the hydro again. I mean, I guess we already did pick it up with the hydro once. Could maybe get a little closer. Maybe try to 10.
Change course. Flank ahead.
I am curious to see what the weather looks like outside, though.
Affirmative.
Check the bridge here.
Affirmative.
Well, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. We ought to be able to... That's pretty good visibility. We ought to be able to pick up smoke. I think I might
I need some help here.
increase our visual range a little bit with some help. Not seeing a max sight circle, only clear sight.
Affirmative.
I think that convoy would be over here somewhere. That's 6-6 mag. It's kind of an annoying thing that just happened there.
Affirmative.
If you use the mouse wheel, if you're using a periscope, mouse wheel in and out would decrease magnification. If you do it on the Uzo, it doesn't decrease, it jumps you out. So that's.
Affirmative.
I think I'm getting in the habit of just using this up here. Not really seeing much. Not yet, anyway.
Affirmative.
I think we'll go until that that clear line sight gets down, maybe touching this projected
Target
course.
position reached.
Set a course to these coordinates.
We'll stay on a parallel to the projected vector or intercept.
Target
Ah,
position reached.
it's a good thing that I didn't mean to hit 1800, I meant to hit 140. Thankfully, that feature stopped me there, but let's see if we spot anything now.
Affirmative.
Nothing obvious, so let's go down.
Dive to 50 meters.
See if
Man
we
the
pick up that
listening room.
convoy.
Current depth, 5 meters.
Switch to electric motors.
50 meters.
Got it at 341. Let's see where that puts it. So it's up this way.
"45 meters.
I may stay on that intercept track. Because that intercept angle, regardless of how far away this
50 meters.
this course was, would be right. So I think I can still, as long as it continues to bear 341, I'm basically on an intercept path. So
Current depth, 45 meters.
might try maybe. I mean, that's widening it out a little bit.
Change course.
I think we'll proceed another 10 to 15 kilometers and see if that 341 bearing is changing much. If it's getting smaller and moving this way, it means the convoy is moving at less than 7 knots, which I doubt. If it stays on about 341, then it's a pretty good indication that convoy is doing 7 knots. So I'll have a good check on the speed. And we can surface the
Blow
boat.
the tanks.
And this vectored intercept was for a flank approach, so we'll get back on flank.
Set a course to these coordinates. Set a course to these coordinates.
30 meters.
Don't know how far away it is. It could be, well, I guess let's go to, let's get back to the
10
surface
meters.
here.
Switch to diesel engines.
Captain, we've risen to the surface.
Yes, sir.
One thing I reported to the devs was this, you got to be careful if you put your dials over here and you hit the tab key. This menu has a click-through on it. So if I hit diesel compressor right here, that seemed to work okay for that, but if I'm up here and I click something and the gyro compass is on it, for some reason some of these things have a click-through. Let's see, maybe they fixed it with patch 11. We'll try bringing this down a little bit. I like to have a low room up here because I like to watch the torpedoes, but it was causing me trouble when I went here and like hit pump.
Course 3.
Yeah, see, it
6.
changed my course. And that, of course, was not something that I wanted it to do.
Change course.
So just be careful with this particular dial. Hopefully the devs will fix the click-through on that one, and
Yes, sir. I'll take care of it.
it won't cause a change in course. Devs are very responsive, so I imagine these things, as they're pointed out, they'll clean them up really quick.
Set a course to these coordinates.
So I've got a max sight ring now, and I view the max sight ring as the, where I can possibly see smoke. Whereas the clear sight ring, I kind of view that more as you've got a full view of the ship. So I think we might have a good chance to pick it up here. If I just keep moving on this intercept vector. line just to see. Maybe we'll dip down.
Dive to 50 meters.
See
Man
if-
the listening room.
See if the convoy is still checking out in the 340 range. Or 340 bearing, rather.
Current depth, 5 meters.
Switch to electric motors.
50 meters.
357, so it's probably moving a little faster than 7. It might be doing 8 knots, but 357 puts it almost directly ahead of me. And we do have a pretty good idea that it's moving east to west.
Current
Take off
depth,
Excel
45
time.
meters.
And if they're at 357, I mean that's directly, almost directly ahead, right? It's about right there. So maybe here. And if it's moving more like 8 knots,
50 meters.
and maybe I change up on my scale a little bit, go to 800. So it's moving at 8 knots. And again, I can do about
45
18
meters.
or 19. We'll call it 18.
Blow the tanks.
Current depth, 40 meters. Meters.
So 23.5 intercept. And if y'all want to learn more about these intercept angles or these vectors
Switch
that
to
I'm
diesel engines.
coming up with to try to
Captain, we've risen to the
catch
surface.
this, you can check my my video on vector intercepts. But the other thing
Change course.
that I want to be clear on here is that I only know that that convoy is moving east to west. I don't know. I didn't know if it was up here. I don't know if it's down here. But the point is that regardless of where it is, whether it's here or whether it's down here, if my bearing to the target, let's say the actual course of the convoy is way down here, and I calculate my intercept, regardless of whether that convoy is in this position or this position, it doesn't change my intercept angle. I still would have observed it on the same bearing. I still would have calculated the same exact angle, and I still would be on this course. So I can continue on this path. The only thing I got to be careful of is I want to be careful that I don't pass it. But I'm thinking that my sight range, I ought to be able to pick up either smoke or something. So if I just stay on this path, as long as I'm guessing right on the speed, which right now I've upped the speed to 8 knots, so I'm starting to feel good that I might be able to catch it. But right now this is a direct intercept. I'm not building in any, I don't know enough about where the convoy is to try to build into any sort of stationing adjustment. And by that I just mean that rather than, perfectly intercepting a convoy or center of convoy or whatever that represents, is you could create a station for yourself 2,000 meters in front of the convoy, 5 kilometers in front of the convoy, whatever you want, and then solve for the intercept of that position
Captain,
instead.
we've reached our target.
Let's see if I can see anything. Not too much. I might run down. Maybe run it another 5 kilometers or so. Do another hydrophone check.
Dive to 50 meters. Man the listening room.
Again, the operation for that dive is to go down to 50 meters and come to a stop, so it's okay to keep it at flank.
Current depth, 5 meters.
Switch to electric
Once it
motors.
gets to depth, it's going to stop.
50 meters.
Yeah, it's at 342, so that's a little better. At least it's not at, oops. At least it's not at 365 anymore, so now it's bearing 342, so it's off.
45 meters.
It's off in that direction. So I think I might be, I'll run another 10 kilometers, and if I'm still bearing 342, I know I'm on a good path. And I also would assume
Current
that
depth, 50 meters.
if I happen to run into it before I make 10 kilometers,
Set a course to these
my crew should be
coordinates.
able to sight it.
Blow the tanks.
It's nice that when I come out of the hydrophone check and
45
hit blow
meters.
tanks, it reverts back to my speed.
Current depth, 25
Switch
meters.
to diesel engines.
Captain, we've risen to the surface.
Alright guys, be on the lookout. Should see a convoy. Would seem odd if that convoy was on a... Where would they be going? They were heading down to the south like that. Yeah. I guess that's possible. Still nothing.
Change course.
Well, let's stick to the plan. Stay on this idea of checking every 10 kilometers.
Target position reached.
Dive to 50 meters. Man the listening room. Set a course to these coordinates.
Current depth, 5 meters.
Switch to electric motors.
45 meters.
Still 347, so we're on a good intercept path. That they've got to be moving at 8 knots.
Change course.
But I need to stay on this. I need to stay on this heading.
$50 meters.
And
Set a
I
course
should
to
be able
these
to run into
coordinates.
him.
Blow the tanks.
$30 meters.
Switch to diesel engines.
Captain,
course, Captain.
we've risen to the surface.
That hydrophone range must be stupidly long. How far have we gone here? We'll try stopping about here.
Set a course to these coordinates. Dive to 50 meters. Man the listening room.
Captain, we've reached our target. 5 meters.
Switch to electric motors.
50 meters.
Yeah, still 340.
Blow the tanks.
I might want to start getting out in front of them a little bit.
45 meters.
347.
$25 meters.
Whoops, 347.
5 meters.
Switch to diesel engines.
Captain, we've risen to the surface.
Surprised I haven't seen them yet.
Set a course to these coordinates.
Wonder if they're heading south.
Will do, Captain.
Funnel smoke. Small group. Bearing 355 degrees.
355, finally.
Convoy in sight. Bearing 345 degrees. Alarm. Take your positions.
Stay calm and focused, everyone. Get
Those are tankers. Those are tankers, so they're probably moving at 9 or 10. But definitely east to west. And I could see almost the full line of the ship. So they've got to be within my sight. Yeah, they're somewhere inside of this clear sight range. So we'll put in an assumption they're moving kind of like that. And 347 and 344, 347. So there's one here, and 344. So they're like right about. There's two of them, right? So there's one like here, one here, and they're moving in that direction. They're probably moving at 9. Well, I think they're moving at about 8 knots. So let's say they can go 8 kilometers. Let's clean this up a little bit. I'm going to switch course,
Set a course to these coordinates.
and we'll try to get out in front of them. I don't think they've noticed me yet. We'll go ahead and report them. I didn't see any escorts. Be nice to get 2 tankers.
Report sent.
And at flank, if I can do 18. Let's say I go half, 9. By the time I get there, they'll be about here. So that'll put me well in front of them. I'm already kind of in front of them. Might revise this idea a little bit.
Set a course to
Maybe
these
we'll come in
coordinates.
on them, be a little more aggressive. I don't want them to see me. I know they're moving. They're moving at about 8. What if I approached them underwater? If I did submerged, I could probably do about 7 knots. And from this position, I'm measuring from here because that's where I first saw them, and they've moved along, just like I've moved along. But if my intercept would have been like 54 degrees. Four. About there.
Change course.
I should be able to come in
Change course.
something like that. That'd be a good setup for an attack. Yeah, and we're almost within 2 kilometers, so I think we can
Periscope
submerge.
depth.
Maybe see if we can get within about. Well, we'll see. I don't know if this distance. This is a bit of a guess at their distance, so we'll see. I think we can stay on alarm. I think currently
Captain, we're periscope depth. Ready for surface observations.
we can
Switch to
probably come in
electric
almost at a
motors.
perfect 90. One of the advantages of the 7C is this this S3 TDC, because it could set us up for a. We could shoot at both of these targets simultaneously if we feel good about the solution. So we might give that a try, hit them both at the same time. That would be a quick end to this mission if we can take 2 tankers and then just head for home. I think we better start warming up torpedoes though.
Of course, Captain.
Whoops, wrong guy on torpedoes. I meant to
And
send
the
you.
electric engines.
And let's see what we got here. So we're going to go attack periscope, bow, bridge. Zero that out. Is that already bearing 0? What is that? They get past me. Bah. They're straight ahead of me, so that didn't work.
Change course.
Let's go back to plan B. We're not going to be able to outrun him.
Set a course to these coordinates.
So let's... Well, while I'm here,
Set a course to these coordinates.
let's see if we can get a beat on their distance at least. Oh, there's... Oh gosh. Those are just other ones out in front.
Torpedo in tube 1 maintained.
Well, if that's the case, I think I'm just gonna... I'll stay on track for the, these two in the back. But wow, we've got a whole parade of tankers here. What's that one? I think there's 3 tankers. There's one. Two, 3. All right. Maybe I do revise plan a little bit. See if I can get out in front of all of them. That one, not so much, but if I get 3 tankers, wow. Maybe I stay on these 2 with my current plan and then do an end around or do an overhaul on those. Those are continuing to bear in the 340, 347 range. But what's their distance? Let's check the first one. That is 1.5 magnification. He's not quite taking up. He's not even taking up half of my scope, so I'm guessing. I'd guess 5,000 meters, but why not? We can do a statometer on it. Lock. I guess that's not really a tanker, it's this one that's the tanker. That's just a merchant vessel. Or it could be is it a war class? Yeah, that's a war class, so that is a tanker. So we got a war class there. That seems about right. 3,200-ish. So he's 3,200 out. They're here, and they're on they're about right there. 3, 49 is the war class. So about here. And I want to be, I think I want to be in a position, maybe put myself in a position like right there within maybe 1,000 kilometers or so out in front of them. Maybe like there. So then if that's the station that I want to be at for the attack, and I know their direction is moving like this, then all I have to do is solve for an intercept at this location. So that means that would be the bearing to target at that station. So I'm intercepting a station as opposed to the target itself. I'm going to move at about, or it's moving at about
Captain,
8.
we've reached our target.
I can move, well, submerged, I'm moving at 10. That'd be pretty tough. So it's saying take a course of 65. 65 bearing. So that's the direction that
Change course.
is suggesting that I go. Can try it. Just have to watch my speed. Yeah, I'm doing 10.
Set a course to these coordinates.
Map's starting to look ugly. .270 and 304. So there's one bearing 270, so there's one right here. And I think that's that war class. 272 and 303. I think the one at 303 is the one that was up ahead anyway. It's staying in the 270 range, so this is a safe. This is safe. They're not getting any further ahead on me, so this is a safe course at least. But when I cross this line,
Change
so about
course.
right there, I should be in that position where I'm about 1.1 kilometers I'm in this kind of position compared to where the ship is once I reach right
Set a
here.
course to these coordinates.
So that means I would expect that the target would be about right there. See how I do. At that point, how far am I? About 1.1 kilometers off. So then if that's the case, it's get
Set a
here,
course to these coordinates.
turn into the ship, and be ready to fire, and hopefully we got, let's see what we've got for torpedoes.
Consider it done, sir.
Yeah, we look to be, we're out ahead of them. Do I keep going and attack him first? He's still ahead of my beam. Could do it though. If I run this way.
Set a course to these coordinates.
Let's just see how far I am off that lead tanker.
Change course.
Torpedo in tube 2 maintained.
So he's almost 270. Might be worthwhile to just take a shot at him. Do I hit that one first and alert the tankers, or do I go for the tankers? Let's see, torpedo 3.
Affirmative.
.5. So he's probably right around 1,500 to 2,000 meters away. I'm just gauging it on how much of the 1.5 scope. He's like half of my 1.5, so I'm saying that's probably a 1,500 to 2,000 meter, but we can check. Might as well get him signed up as a tanker here. I believe that's the one. I think these guys are doing 8 knots.
Attack parameters update. Speed 8 knots.
Torpedo in tube 3 maintained.
Angle on bow right now is very close to 90. Don't really need to enter this info in yet, but doesn't hurt.
Update. Angle 90. Bow right.
It's the statometer that I'm interested in. I guessed it was 1,500 to 2,000. Ooh, 3,000. And it's probably because it's such a long ship. But that's
Attack
probably
parameters
right.
update. Distance to target 3,043 meters.
I mean, I could shoot a spread at that ship right now because it's behind. Well, it's behind my beam. Might try 2 torpedo spread.
Consider it done, sir.
Do I have a 2-3 spread option? Whoops. Bow attack. Whoops, salvo. I got a 1-2. Oh, there's a 2-3. Maybe I turn into him a little bit so I don't have such a high gyro angle.
Torpedo in tube 1 maintained.
So 3,000. So they're maybe out here.
Set a course to these coordinates.
Maybe we turn into him a little bit and take a long distance shot. Maybe that gives us time to reload another one.
Flood tube 2.
Do
Flood
it.
tube 3.
2-3 fan maybe on the first one.
Tube 2 flooded. Tube 3 flooded.
Let's watch till we get on course here. I think at 315, because I'm on a 45. Oops, it's not letting me draw on my sub here. Sometimes when it doesn't let you draw on the sub like that, if you do it over here somewhere and then try it, and it's still not working. What a pain. Well, you have to take my word for it that on a 45, 315 would be
Torpedo in tube 4 maintained.
315 would be looking down like that, so that would be like on a 90-degree angle on bow. So what I'm looking at here is when I'm at 315, you know, for this ship, make sure that's the ship I'm on. For that ship, if I'm looking at 315, I should see about a 90-degree angle on bow solution. So I should see something like that.
Update. AOB 90 right.
I'm okay at roughly 3,000 distance. all that's going to do to the fan is make it a tighter spread if I'm off, if I've guessed too far, so that's not too bad. And right now that ship's at about a 78 angle on bow. So I think I'm going to take the shot, but I'm going to go ahead and update for the 78. Well, actually, it's showing we're set. Oh yeah, I forgot we've got the new S3. The S3 TDC. That's the nice thing about it, is it updates for angle on bow, so I don't have to. So let's go ahead and see what happens.
Fire!
And let's quickly get our crew. Loading a new torpedo.
What are your orders, Captain? Of course, Captain.
And let's see if we can pick up these torpedoes.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't look like much of a spread, but by the time it gets out there, and my sub's continuing to come in at a 45, so I ought to be able to, if these are hits, I ought to be able to shift my attention to the other two pretty quickly. Hoping one of them will hit. Otherwise, we're just going to have to come in close on them and not take 3,000 kilometer or 3,000 meter shots.
The torpedo has covered half the distance.
Hoping one of them. Come on. Pretty wide fan. I would have thought that would have been a little tighter. Maybe not the one in front, but maybe the one in back. Well, we'll take that. For a 3,000 meter shot, yeah, we'll take that. And that was almost a double hit. Alright guys, let's we can get away from that. Let's turn our attention now. Where are your friends?
Another patrol completed successfully. Let's keep up the good work, crew.
The ship is sinking.
I think we go for this one. And possibly, well, nah, we're closer to that one. Let's just go right at it. We'll stay at flank. How are we doing on torpedoes? We'll move,
Course 114.
we'll move to about right here.
Course 123.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Well, I don't know.
Captain, there's an incoming transmission.
Yeah. I think I'm going to shoot at that one first, and then it's hard to tell if that one's actually in front of me. I think these two might be side by side in the course that they're taking. I think I could shoot at that one first and then continue.
Course 132.
Let's get that other torpedo.
What are your orders, Captain?
Consider it done, sir.
I hate that it does that. Mouse. Wondering if that one changed up on its speed. My sub is heading in this direction. I don't really need that anymore. At 1.5. I might change my mind and go after that one first. We can swing back and get the other one. Set our course.
Course 161.
We can go right in front of him. And as we head in front of him, we'll mark his true course. When we get a zero bearing. If I don't run into him. I think I gotta take this shot first. He's too close to just let it go.
Slow ahead.
Tube 3 loaded.
So, I'm not sure if 8 is true anymore. But I don't know, I doubt they slowed down. That angle on bow right there is probably 60, 70. He's heading left to right, so that's why I'm putting it there. Maybe that's maybe 60. But that distance is very close. That's in 0.6, so we're only looking at, we're probably only looking about 700 meters away.
Update. Distance
And
70
he might be turning
meters.
into me right now, so let's stop.
All engines stop.
That looks like he's on like a, yeah, they're definitely zigzagging because he's turning into me. That one's out there, probably 1,500 to 2,000 meters. This one is probably getting ready to turn back to the left.
Flood tube 1.
We might as well just override the.
Tube 1 flooded.
We might as well override the
Update.
angle on bow for.
Angle 113 right.
We'll do a 90. Directly in front of me should be about a 90. And he's very close.
Update. AOB 91 right. Distance 300 meters.
We'll take a shot early. You notice that the angle
Attack
on bow here
parameters
is
update.
updating.
Angle 52 right. Update. AOB 90 right.
If we can get our gyro to sync. There it is. Well, shouldn't be able to miss. Oh, come on.
Fire. 40 seconds to impact. 30 seconds. 20 seconds.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for him.
They are sinking.
It went down quick. Let's get back on to the big one.
Flank ahead. Course 210.
These guys are turning zigzags, but it's just slowing them down.
Course 230.
I think they're letting me gain on him. They're not zigzagging. They're ahead of my beam, though. that impact angle. That's almost like a 45. I don't know if I want to take that shot yet. Go ahead. Head in this direction.
Course 243.
Oh, he's turning. You are zigzagging. What's he doing up there? Yeah, he's zigzagging too. At this point, do I just surface? I guess I could continue and see if I make any ground on him.
Course 252.
Captain, we've been spotted.
It won't be easy, but we've survived worse. Let's stay calm.
Yes, sir. I'll take care of it.
Rudder
15 degrees.
starboard.
We can do a 90-degree angled shot here on these. Just get a little distance on them.
Rudder amidships.
Might even be a chance for a bow tube shot. Could probably do that. Could probably do like a passing bow tube shot. Switch to maintain 5. We are gaining on him, so they're still only doing maybe 8 or 9 knots. That's my beam. The only risk here is that they're so close. Maybe
Rudder
20 degrees.
starboard.
we'll get a little bit away from them.
Torpedo in tube 5 maintained.
Rudder amidships. Flood tube 5.
Tube 5 flooded.
I think it's doing 8. Angle on bow, 90 is fine. Distance is like 300.
Rudder
10 degrees.
port. Rudder amidships.
That's my beam, so he's a little bit behind me. I could take the shot here, and it wouldn't hopefully be too bad of a gyro angle. It's my stern. He's
Attack
turning into
parameters
me.
update. Angle 8-4. Bow right.
He's turning into me. I think I'll give it a shot. What the heck? Let's just make sure we are okay with this. Not sure why that moved. That still feels like a pretty decent shot. 79.
Attack
77.
parameters update. Angle
Maybe 500 now.
7-7. Bow right. Update. Distance 500 meters.
Could try a bow shot. Or I mean a stern shot.
Fire. 40 seconds to impact.
Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. So whoever thought our stern tubes weren't working right, I can assure you that the angle on bow works fine out of the stern tube. I don't think he's going to recover from that.
They are
Good
sinking.
work.
Yes!
Where's the last one? I might surface and chase him.
Course 240.
This is the last one. Maybe we can just coax him to give up.
Blow the tanks.
Current depth, 10 meters.
Alarm cancel.
Put the captain on the bridge.
Switch to diesel engines.
Captain, we've risen to the surface.
Whoops.
Affirmative.
I think we might just order them to stop, and in the meantime, let's get our... Let's get our stern
Captain,
tube
the
reloaded.
enemy ships have sounded their alarms.
Consider it done, sir.
Might even be able to take him with the cannon. that's not going to help you. Option to signal that we're getting ready to signal.
Half ahead. Man the deck gun. Slow ahead.
Hold.
Somehow,
Hold.
Affirmative.
Fire. Fire.
Affirmative.
good grief, somehow I lost my control there. Alright, turn.
Hell, turn 30 degrees. Port. All engines stop.
Hold. Hold. Fire. Fire. Well, I guess that's enough. That should do it.
Half ahead.
We'll watch him for a little bit.
Set a course to these coordinates. Dead slow ahead.
For some reason, when I bring up this this UI, I lose my ability to control the gun anymore. I have to like go out and re-enter in. Odd. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it. All right.
All engines stop.
We'll pick up the crew on this boat, and I think we'll call this mission done. We get to put a broom on the scope as we come back in. I think we just swept that convoy. We'll take all of you. And let's see what we got here. We'll take 5 more. And the rest of them will give up. Give them supplies and wish them well.
Half ahead.
Alright, let's get out of this area and head for home.
Change course.
Mission complete. Awesome. This is the happy time. Wow, almost 30,000 on one mission. That's not bad. All good. We'll reload and on to the next patrol.